Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here because over this last week, I have had this same question come up maybe a dozen or two times where different coaches came to me and they said, Jen, my spouse doesn't support me in my entrepreneur vision. What do I do? How can I invest in myself? How can I grow my business when I don't have their support? And so in this episode, I just wanted to break down what's really going on in this communication gap, how you can really help them to better understand what you are building, what you are creating, and get them on board, get them working with you. So if you're just jumping on and we're meeting for the first time, hello, my name is Jen Casey. I'm a business strategy and NLP coach, and I work with online coaches who want to turn their social media into sales and build profitable, purpose-driven businesses. So if you're not already over inside the private Facebook group, we've got a party going on in there over in the Facebook group Online Coaches Make Bank. So I want to invite you to come and join us over there. Right now you can go to heyjencasey.com/group and come and join the party. So when we look at why are people quote unquote not supporting the vision that you have? Well, the first piece is especially when it comes to spouses, we have to understand that when we entered into a relationship with that person, there were certain rules. There were certain rules around how we showed up. And a lot of times, women in particular, because that's primarily who I coach and work with, they come into the world of entrepreneurship and they're like, wait, this is so cool. Maybe they're stay-at-home moms are like, I found my purpose. I can connect with people. I have a vision now. I have a purpose. I have this whole other friend group. And your partner is like, well, where do I fit into this? And I know for a lot of network marketing ladies as well, they're going to events. They're connecting with their team. They're jumping on coaching calls. They've got this whole other life that isn't a part of the life of their significant other. And so we have to understand the layers of how you are showing up for your partner. Are they feeling a little neglected? Is there some reality to this? Because now you've got this whole other life that you're so excited about and it lights you on fire. And you're staying up late. You're constantly on your phone. You're constantly on your computer. You're not coming to bed early for some loving. You're getting up early. You're constantly, for many of you, working on, thinking about, talking about your business. And your partner is like, okay, where do I fit into this picture? And another layer to this that a lot of women will say is, well, I'm going to retire my husband. And they'll say this without even asking their significant other if that's what he or she wants. They're like, well, I'm going to retire them. It's going to be great. That's my vision. I saw somebody else did that. Now I want to do that. And the partner's like, what the heck, man? Why are you taking away my purpose? So we have to really recognize, sometimes we get excited. We're like happy little puppies. We just figured out our vision. We're so excited. We're going to create this cool thing. We're in entrepreneurship. We're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. I have these cool friends, people who are doing cool shit. Oh my God, this is the best. And then we're like a little puppy when its owner comes home and we're just like so excited. We just kind of like pee all over the floor. Or we just like fire hose information at people. So when is the last time you connected with your spouse and really got their perspective? Because what is their perspective? Is their perspective that, well, I don't know what you do. You just spend a bunch of money and you're always on your phone and I'm not getting any loving because you're always looking at your business. And so a lot of ladies will get pissed at their husbands like, oh, he doesn't support me. But I'm like, boo, you changed the rules. You're the one that changed the rules of your dynamic. And you're okay. You're allowed to change the rules. And when you do it, there is going to be an impact. You're changing the rules of the relationship. So we really want to look at how you're showing up for your partnership. Are you making them feel secure? Are you making them feel seen? Are you making them feel significant? Or are you all about your business? And the other layer to this, because there's a lot of layers, and some of this may resonate for you in your relationship, and some of it might not. So if something stands out to you, then maybe this is a place where you can enter the conversation with your partner or with your family member who's not fully supporting you. The other piece to this is that even if you explain your vision of what you want to create, no one can see the vision that you have. So people get upset. This person doesn't understand my vision. They don't see what I'm creating. No one can. Some people can see parts of it. People can get excited about it for you, and they can see it in their own mind's eye, but no one can see it in the way that you do, because we all have our own beliefs, values, memories, experiences, models of the world, meaning for things. And it's like going, when you're trying to explain the fullness and the beauty and the depth of your mission and your purpose and your passion, it's like going to a movie and then 3 days later trying to explain to somebody else the whole movie. You're only going to be able to give them bits and pieces. And when you explain it to them, they're not seeing it in the way that it's actually playing out on a screen. They're creating their own picture, their own movie for what it looks like. So we have to recognize that there is a little bit of a communication gap, and there's not really anything you can do about that in terms of your vision, because that's why your vision can only live inside you, and my vision can only live inside of me, and we can share our vision and communicate it clearly to other people. And there's a reason that this vision was born inside you. It's because you were the person that is supposed to carry it out and cultivate this vision and birth it into the world. It's not other people's responsibility to understand what you're creating. Unless maybe they're an employee. They should probably have some idea of where you're headed. But I'm talking about a bigger picture thing here. So if the people in your life, the people maybe on your network marketing team, your clients, they're seeing what you're doing, but no one is going to be able to fully comprehend your vision in the way that it is living inside of you. And the other layer, there's like I said, a lot of layers. There's a little onion we're peeling out right now. Peeling out, peeling back. Is that there's also a miscommunication in their understanding of the online marketing world. So when you came into the online marketing world and started understanding business and the potential of building an online business in this coaching environment, it's its own little weird bubble. And a lot of times we just assume that other people know what we're doing, and they don't. Like, my mom, still has 4 friends on Facebook. So as much as I want her to fully support me, and she does, she can't fully understand what I do. Unless I sat and had her walk through it with me every single day. And even then she probably wouldn't understand. Because it's not her passion, it's not her world, and that's okay. But because we're in it 24/7, we're thinking about it all the time, we're consuming content around it, we're taking courses, we're working with coaches, we're in Facebook groups with other entrepreneurs, we are in it all dang day. And then we expect other people to understand it who don't even know what you're like. What? You get paid to coach people online? You get paid how much? Somebody paid you a few $1,000s to coach them? What? They don't know because they're not a part of this world. And so when you're learning the online marketing world for the first time, it's almost like speaking a foreign language. And when you're trying to explain it to somebody else, you have to recognize that if you're going to learn a foreign language from scratch, if I'm going to try to learn French, I'm starting with the infancy level of French, the most basic words like ball, nose, So that is their level of awareness and understanding of what you do, most likely. And just maybe your significant other is a computer engineer or an accountant or whatever it is that they do, I bet you don't know all of the ins and outs of what they do every single day, unless they've been talking about it with you for years. And even then, you probably don't fully understand what it is they do, what they learned in school every single day, and what their goals were before they graduated college to go into this career, right? But what's interesting about the entrepreneur world is that when it comes to our quote-unquote regular jobs, there is no expectation for us to fully understand what the other person does. But because in entrepreneurship, it's kind of like this non-traditional approach to education and investing in yourself, all of a sudden, significant others, family members, friends are like, whoa, you're taking a big risk there, buddy. You're going to spend how much money on an online course? And just because it's not in a university or it's not like a doctorate or a master's degree, all of a sudden people get uncomfortable because it's outside of their box of what they understand. And so this kind of brings us into this whole idea of investing. When you have an online business or you have a business of any kind, or you are trying to be the best of the best of the best in your niche, in your niche, you've got to get coaches. Like if you look at Olympians, Broadway performers, the best people in the world, they have coaches, they have people who train them, they have people who can objectively look at what they're doing and help them identify their blind spots so that they can grow more quickly, right? It's non-traditional. You're breaking the rules. And it's really, when you look at other industries like Olympians, it is almost more like that than it is working a 9 to 5 because it's outside the realm of what other people understand. We have crazy work ethics where we're like, I am going to birth this vision. I am going to make this business happen no matter what. And the Olympians are like, I am going to be an Olympic athlete no matter what. And there's a certain level of dedication and tenacity and going against the grain and, being at a certain level of excellence that other people can't wrap their minds around. And you do not need to play small because other people don't understand your vision. You can try to help bring them along the journey. And trust me, I had a lot of pushback from the people in my life. Thankfully, my sweet fiance, who I've been with for 11 and a half years, he supported me from the get-go. And both of us had met each other doing as performers, as musical theater performers. So that was already a little bit outside the box. So he gets it. He's like, listen, you do you. Whatever it takes, whatever you need to do. Get the training that you need. No questions asked. 110% support from day one. Now, my family, they, had businesses of their own that didn't go so well. And so they came in with not only this version of, you got to get a 9 to 5. My dad wanted me to be a dental hygienist, and he wanted my brother to be a cop and, have a safe job and have a pension and yada, yada, yada. And he's like, I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to be a dental hygienist, but thank you. And he's like, no, but I just looked online and they make base salary $80,000 a year. And wasn't super supportive of my entrepreneur vision. We had a conversation the other day, and he was like, the reason that I didn't support you was because I just didn't get it. I wanted you to go outside and network with people. I didn't understand that you were building connections through the computer because I never did that. He was like, I was getting frustrated because you would sit inside all day back when I lived with them and I was still building the business. And I was like in my mid-20s, living with my parents, which I hated, but I knew that I was saving the money to invest in myself. And they were very amazing about that. But they still, gave me some pushback because they didn't totally get what I was doing in entrepreneurship and they were worried. They were concerned, which was such a dagger in my freaking heart. I'm like, you guys don't see what I'm doing. But my dad, we talked the other day and he was like, yeah, I just didn't get it. I just didn't understand that you were doing all of these things behind the scenes. And, a couple of years after that, when I, started having really big income months and I would show him, I'd be like, hey, Dad, look what we did. He's like literally wouldn't have words. And that was his way of apologizing, I guess, in a sense of just being like, wow, I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. And now he can very much own that, which is super cool. Because it can be tricky with family. And I know a lot of you are frustrated hearing this because you're like, well, what, because for me, it did take making a certain amount of money for them to feel like, oh, her business is legit. That's what validated it for them. And that might be where your family's at. Everybody's got their own rules and values around what makes something legit. I was just talking to one of my clients earlier, and she said, that prior to now, she's only made play money online. And I said, whoa, hold on. What's play money? Is it Monopoly money? Is it real money? No, it was just under $1,000 a week. So that felt like play money versus real money. I'm like, no. You made sales online. People said, I want to work with you. Here's a few bucks. Here's some money. I want to hire you. And I was like, don't take away the power that you were able to create and generate sales online in your business. So this is another piece that we really want to look at. And it's this idea of most people, when they see their partner spending money and they're not in the entrepreneur realm, they go, whoa, wait a minute. The savings account is decreasing. Why are you spending money? But what they don't know about entrepreneurship and growth and really just the if you go to college, That's not money spent, that's money invested. And so you need to reframe or help them reframe the way that they see money transactions. Sure, if I sit down to eat a steak, I eat the steak, it might be $33, it's an expensive steak. That steak's gone forever. My body is no longer using it. There's no additional use for that food. The money is gone. So I spent that money. But when I invest money, or when you invest money, there's a return on your investment. And that's what makes it an investment. So when you're looking at where to put money in your business, you want to ask yourself, what is the potential ROI? And when you're discussing when you're having these conversations with your partner, with your husbands, a lot of times men tend to be more linear in their thinking, not always, but a lot of times they want to know, what's the data? What are the facts? What are the numbers? And a lot of the women are coming to their partner going, but it feels so good. Like, I found my purpose. This is my passion. They don't care. I mean, not that they don't care, but they're like, yeah, that's great. But like, how are we getting this money back? They're thinking very linear about it should be point A to point B, straight line. But entrepreneurship doesn't work like that. There are highs and lows, and that's what it takes to run a business. It's a roller coaster. But if you want to more clearly communicate what's possible, I would recommend coming to your partner with data, numbers, and facts and say to them, okay, I'm going to invest $1,000 in this course that's going to teach me how to crush my sales conversations. And if I just learn how to become incredible at sales, the practice that I'm going to have over the next 6 months and year, just think about how that knowledge, getting it today, is going to compound over time. You getting that information today, where's your business going to be in a week? Well, if you could learn something like sales, I bet you could go from closing 2 out of 10 people to 8 out of 10 people. How much more money could you make, and how many more clients can you serve if you close 8 out of 10 people? And that's just this week. And then what about this month? And what about this year? And what about the next 6 years and 10 years and 20 years? Just by getting this piece of information today. Because as you know, when we learn something new, it takes us time to practice it and really wrap our heads around it a little bit and get to that level of mastery. So for those of you who are getting resistance from a partner around investing in yourself and getting something that is like going to change the trajectory of your business, you've got to help them understand that it's actually going to cost them and you more by not learning that today. Because if you could learn sales today, but you wait 6 months, well, you've now lost 6 months of income. You've spent 6 months doing things that don't work, 6 months of time that you could have spent building an audience, 6 months of time you could have spent refining a skill set, 6 months of time that you could have been enjoying serving clients and actually moving closer to your mission and your purpose, getting on podcasts, creating your course, doing all these things that you want to do. But because you're waiting, it's the catch-22, waiting to invest until I have money. But I need money to invest, and I don't have clients yet, and so I have to get clients, but I can't get clients because I don't know how to get clients because I don't know how to close a sale. So you've got to start somewhere. You've got to take a leap of faith. You've got to jump. I was sharing with somebody the other day that I had $1,000 or less to my name when I was transitioning my business, and I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Oh my God, like I'm just going to take a giant leap of faith. I had $1,000. I invested $500 and literally said a prayer. And it was with Jen Sincero, who wrote You Are a Badass. It was the last time she was running a group coaching program. I got in like at midnight. I was like the last person to squeeze into that program. And I remember she did coaching calls, and I got on the call with her and I asked her a question like, should I do this or should I do that? And she was like, I can't answer that for you. You need to answer that for yourself. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I just spent all this money. I invested in this program, and I wanted her to tell me how to fix my life. And she just empowered me to make that choice for myself. And, it really comes down to you need to decide what you want to create. And when you have those conversations around investing in yourself with your partner, not only do you want to understand their perspective, going back to the beginning, understand what are they perceiving your business right now to be. Is it that you're just on your phone, twiddling your thumbs, staring at the computer? Because that's all they see. They don't understand the full scope of what you're building. Is it that they don't understand your vision? Maybe you haven't communicated it to them even as best as you could now. Maybe they don't understand the world of online marketing and the earning potential of what you're creating. Maybe they don't understand the power of investing versus spending. And, maybe it really comes down to your lack of confidence. And this is this last piece, where a lot of times women will go to their husbands, their partners, and say, hey, I have this thing. Can you think I would really like to spend $1,000 on this. Can I do it? What do you think their response is going to be? If you come with an energy of apologizing or begging or pleading, it's going to be an automatic no. And if you approach it from that, like, come on, ladies, like, we got to get better at sales here. If you're just saying, hi, can I spend $1,000? No. I mean, if somebody came to me and was like, hey, could we spend $1,000 of our money? I'd be like, no, for what? Like, why are we spending this money? So you've got to come with a clear promise. You've got to come with a clear promise. You're already assuming your partner's going to say no if you're coming in with that energy. If you're apologizing, you already think on some level they're going to say no. And so you're just bracing for it. You're bracing for the no. It's coming. It's coming. Yes, right? Okay. Sarita says, so true. All of these. Beck says, yes. So instead of bracing for the no, if you come with an energy of certainty, they're going to be like, what's this about? Tell me more. So if you go to your partner and you say, hey, I found this coach, I found this software, I found this program, whatever it is, and they are going to help me triple my revenue. I have faith that based on if I get these missing pieces filled in my business, if I can bridge these gaps, I can 3x my income and start signing clients. I feel confident that I could get at least 4 clients in the next 2 months, and I could 4x my ROI. And to get into this, it's $1,000, but I'm going to show you that I'm going to make this back within 2 weeks. So are you on board with me? Not can I do it? Like, figure out a better way to frame that question. Not can I do it, but what has to happen, and for us, what needs to happen in order for us to make that happen? How can we make that happen? Because it's not a matter of can I, it's a matter of how can we. So if you approach it from that intention and that energy that it is already decided, it is a non-negotiable for you, then you're going to get a different response. And I was talking to someone earlier who, was feeling a little bit bad. One of my students, she was feeling a little badly that she was saying, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I raise the kids and I want to up-level my income in my business. I want to get higher sales, higher revenue, higher income, more profits, all the things. And what we uncovered was that she was like, well, wait a minute, I wasn't supposed to be like the breadwinner. Why am I feeling like I need to match that right now, or that I should have matched it yesterday? I'm allowed. And I was like, yes, girl, like, you growing as a person is making you a better mom. It's making you a better spouse. You're able to contribute more to your family, and you're creating a future for your family. You're building something. It's not like you just like took the credit card, spent $3,000 on a new wardrobe and a spa day, which, like, listen, do that for yourself if you want to. But I'm like, you didn't do that. You didn't just go and spend this money. You went and you invested it in education. You invested it intentionally, knowing that you had a plan for a return on that investment, a fast one at that. And so did you clearly communicate that with your significant other? Beck says, oh man, I can so relate. So I want to hear from you guys who are on live. What is usually the conversation around this? Because this is a real challenge for people. And talking about money, talking about finances in homes can be a real point of stress and conflict and really create a lot of unnecessary tension in relationships. Like, there's enough criticism happening all around the world from the other people in your life. And if you can bring your partner to a place where you guys just pour vision into each other, it's beautiful to really have that level of support. So you really want to start thinking about these things. So of those kind of 5 key areas that I was talking about tonight, which one do you think resonated most for you? And maybe they didn't all resonate and they don't need to. But if there's one that really stood out to you of like, wow, this is the area where I can really help fill in a gap for my partner, for my spouse, for my significant other, and really help them to better understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So if you were to know, would it be more in the area of them not really understanding your big vision? Is it them not understanding the world of online marketing? Is it them not understanding the power of investing and the mindset around investing? Is it that they just need more clear, concrete numbers? Like they need to understand the transformation of what you are about to undergo in your business? Yeah, so I think even just, and maybe even having a conversation around how can you guys allocate certain funds so that there is a little bit of wiggle room so that you can invest in your business, because we've got to invest in our businesses, whether it be in employees, like hiring employees, hiring, independent contractors to help support you, maybe edit your podcast, help you create graphics as an assistant, a virtual assistant. Maybe it's somebody coming in to help clean the house or watch the kids so that you have more time to actually focus on sales and coaching and doing the things that are going to pay you back tenfold. So little things like that, I think if you guys start having those conversations and really find out from them what role they want to have in the business, if they want to have a role, or how they are going to support the business. Maybe they are going to sit and go to an event with you so that they can see what the MLM is all about. Or finding that balance all the time. But I think it really comes down to having open communication and both being invested in showing up for each other. And I think one thing, if this is kind of getting into a whole other topic, but one of the greatest things that, I learned from NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and a lot of it, came as well from Tony Robbins, who also teaches neuro-linguistic programming, is really looking at the 6 areas of certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection, growth, and contribution. Looking at those 6 areas and saying, is your spouse feeling fulfilled in those areas? So are you making your spouse or person or your family member, whoever it is, feel significant on a scale from 1 to 10? Are you making them feel certainty? Are you making them feel like uncertainty and variety? Are you having growth together? Are you contributing together? Is there love and connection? And a lot of times when I have this, when we can measure it, like emotions, when we talk in emotions, it can be a little bit hard to pinpoint, and there can be a lot of blame and guilt and different things. But if we can measure those 6 areas on a scale from 1 to 10 and say, how significant are you making your partner feel, and how significant are they making you feel, we can really identify where some of the breakdown is. So if you being on your phone all the time, you staying up late, not coming to bed to give some lovin' to your partner, and they really are craving that physical contact and that connection, well, we can recognize and identify right there, like, oh, it's because I'm not making them feel significant. They don't feel seen. They're feeling, a little bit neglected right now. Well, then you're trying to spend all this money that they don't understand because you are apologizing for spending it and then spending it anyway. And then now all of a sudden, this level of certainty that they had, not just in the financial piece, but in your life together, your dynamic together, now all of a sudden they're feeling really uncertain, and that's shaking things up. And then you're off here, and you're doing your own thing, you're building your business, and you're growing without them. And so even if we just look at those 3 of the 6, we can start to identify that there are some areas, some patterns that happen when, that I see happening a lot when women go into entrepreneurship or network marketing, right? So this is really just understanding and seeing the world that you live in through their eyes. Now, maybe this is not 100% dead on for them, but I encourage you to ask them. And don't get offended if they're honest with you. Just work to create better lines of communication and work on really prioritizing them, because they are your priority. Your family, your kids, your significant other. And yes, there are different seasons of life where right now you might be focusing a lot of your time on building your business. And that might be important. Like if your business is kind of like your baby. You're like, it takes a village. We got to put some love into this. And also don't forget what's really important. Because at the end of the day, it's about relationships. It's about the connection that we feel. And so no business is worth sacrificing all the people in your life. I've had conversations with clients who were like, I remember one client in particular, she was a top Beachbody coach in network marketing. She's worked her ass off, like working 16-hour days for an entire year so that she could hit this certain rank and get the title of elite. And she said, I never felt more empty because I never saw my kids. I never saw my husband. I was on the phone all the time. And I achieved the goal, and then I realized that I sacrificed everything that I actually cared about. She's like, the whole reason that I said I wanted to reach this goal was so that I could spend more time with my family, have financial freedom. And in the process, she's like, I lost sight of all that really mattered. Yeah, now of course, is that going to happen to everyone? Absolutely not. But it is a good warning for those of you who are getting so heavily into the hustle mode, doing things that aren't working, that don't feel aligned to you. I've had so many conversations with coaches over the last 2 weeks when I was doing my 5-day coach to course challenge who shared really, like, it broke my heart, like private messaging me and saying, I just feel so freaking stuck. I know that I need to invest in myself. I know that I need to do something new because the way that I'm trying to grow my business today just isn't working. It's not consistent. It's not sustainable. I'm burnt out. It's not scalable. I can only send so many direct messages, cold messages a day. I'm getting ghosted. I'm blaming myself. I feel guilty that I'm not with my family. I feel like it's my fault that things aren't growing, and on and on and on. And every time it just literally broke my heart. And I was like, you're the 5th person that sent me almost this exact message. You're the 10th person that sent me this exact message. You're the 30th person that sent me this exact message. And I'm like, where does it end? So I wanted to talk about one small sliver of this tonight to hopefully show you, what else is possible. So one thing, if you guys are feeling like your kids are maybe acting out a little bit because they want more of your attention and you're like, psh, mommy's on a call, right? Like, hey, psh, do not put peanut butter on your brother. I'm trying to do a live video. And all that jazz. If you're in that place right now, I would encourage you to think about ways that you could integrate and incorporate your children into the business growth. So maybe it's something as simple as asking them and saying, what would be some great business hours that we can create so that they are helping to decide what's quiet time, when you're going on live video, and then you're able to allocate really specific times that are playtime, that are family time. And you hang it in the house and everybody can see it. Everybody knows what your business hours are and everybody can respect them and know what's expected of you, what's expected of them. And then there's no confusion or strain around, how long you're working or when you're working. But there are times where phones are putting us in a state of distraction and we are unable to really have those deep connections. They do distract us from personal connection, unless they're used in this way, in which we can connect even more and have awesome conversations late at night. And even if we're having a conversation with someone and our phone is in our hands, subconsciously we're telling them, if this rings, I'm going to look. And you're going to break that eye contact with them. And so as long as your phone is in your hand, that person subconsciously knows they're not your priority. So what I would even recommend is if you're having conversation with someone, like even if you're out to dinner, like do not put the phone on the table. Put your phone away, put it in your bag, put it in your back pocket, put it on silent. Let that person know I'm 100% here with you. I am present with you. And you'll find occasional people who will show up for you in that way. And I don't know that I can even say I've been the best at that. I know that's kind of taken a turn a little bit in the realm of the entrepreneur-ish content that I usually put out, but I think it totally relates back because the health of our business is very much connected to the health of our relationship. Like if we have these beliefs or fears that, if I'm more successful than my husband or my partner, then he's going to be mad. Or if I make more money than him, then he's going to leave me. Like there's so many women that have those beliefs that I didn't even realize that a lot of people had those beliefs. Because I don't, but more conversations I have, it's like, wow, that's a big deal for a lot of us in the entrepreneur realm. So I think if you have a belief that if you're more successful, you make more money than your husband or your mom or your dad or whoever, then you're going to be rejected. You better believe you're going to procrastinate on things and not play full out and make yourself smaller and do silly things. But it's all to avoid the pain of rejection or the pain of the guilt that you're going to feel. So, yeah, so many layers to this. So many layers. I just totally went like so down a rabbit hole, so off of like the bullet points of what I planned to talk about tonight. But hopefully this was helpful and powerful for you guys just to have this like no nonsense conversation around how to really show up and have those open conversations and communicate more effectively with your significant other, with your spouse. So no matter where you're at in your journey, you can figure it out. The first step is really, ladies, just pour into your spouse. If you do nothing else, make them feel seen, make them feel significant, make them feel loved. And I promise you, when you ask for something, if you've taken the time to pour into them and care about their needs first, put their needs first, even if you're like, well, he didn't take out the garbage, so why should I go and like give him a hug? Doesn't matter. You've got to squash that. You got to under the rug, like it's done. Blank slate, starting over right now. If you want to have the relationship of your dreams, start over, pour into them. They might not understand it at first. They might think you're doing a technique or a thing. Doesn't matter. Just be consistent with it. And eventually, when somebody's nice to you and really nice to you and just is like waking up every day thinking, how can I make this person's day better? Which, by the way, is my intention. I'm always asking, how can I make Michael's day better? How can I make his day better? And he does the same thing for me. Like this morning, he left really early, so like I put out a little cup with a little pod for his espresso, and I was like, left him a little note, because I'm like, this is literally the smallest thing, but it will make his day better. It will start his day off without stress if he wakes up annoyed that he's up at 4:30. And when I wake up, he makes sure, he's like, I made you coffee. I'm like, oh my gosh, thanks. But it's the little things. And then we give gratitude back to each other. So just start by taking action on doing one little thing that you know will make a really big difference and will make your partner feel seen, heard, understood, and appreciated. Because here's the thing, and I mentioned this earlier on a video that I did, like we're always saying yes to something. You're either saying yes to your phone or you're saying yes to your spouse. You're either saying yes to your vision or you're saying yes to Netflix. You're either saying yes to your expansion or you're saying yes to staying where you are. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. This was so freaking fun. You guys are amazing. If you're not already inside the Facebook group, Online Coaches Make Bank, please come and join us. You can just type that into the search bar on Facebook, or you can go to HeyJenCasey.com/group. Have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Mwah.